Good morning, everybody. This is K. Balakrishna. Welcome back to the session. Presently we are dealing with the subject strategic management. In the strategic management, we will be dealing with the topic called as industry analysis. Industry analysis is a typical issue here. How to estimate an industry? For example, a software industry, a IT industry, a oil industry, cement industry, and all things will be described here. Whatever maybe the industry is, how to analyze the industry is the biggest issue. I wanted to enter into a automobile industry. How to analyze the industry is the biggest issue and a complicated topic now. I wanted to enter into a telecom industry. How to enter is the biggest issue here. So here what we have to see is we have to continuously understand the threats in the environment, major threats in the environment. We have to face these threats with a heavy hand. Along with this, we also have to face the opportunities in the environment with a heavy hand. We have to encash all possible opportunities in the industry and try to maximize the opportunities and minimize the threats. In the present chapter, we'll see about Michael Porter's 5 forces model, how it has been successful in managing its competitors, in managing its substitutes, in managing its buyers, in managing its suppliers, and many other ways. What do you mean by industry analysis? Industry analysis gives a complete picture regarding what potentialities, what impacts are present in a specific industry, in an automobile industry, in a telecom industry, in an oil industry, in a cement industry, whatsoever it may be. It says how the competition is, how the supply conditions are, how the demand conditions are, whether they can be exist in that particular sector or not, how the pricing policies are present. Each and every minute detail need to be studied. Then only they have to penetrate into the industry. Then only they have to enter into the industry, to be frank enough. Necessity of industry analysis. First and the foremost aspect of industrial analysis is they have to study the customers, they have to study the competitors, especially they have to study the new customers. New customers give valuable feedback to the customer, to the business people, and these suggestions, if they are taken with a heavy hand, they are vulnerable. But if these if these suggestions are taken with a positive aspect, then the business flourishes. Sustainability of business. Sustainability of the business in the sense how business exists in the long run, how business strengths are met, how business weaknesses are met, etc. are being used. Integration strategy in the culture, in the business, in the sense how business unison is possible and how various elements of the various businesses can exist. Here, integration strategies can be either forward or backward. If the business is vulnerable regarding the suppliers, it starts producing the raw material. That is backward integration. If the business wants to encash the profits, it goes for forward. That is opens a retailer. In this way, it goes for an integration strategy. Next, they also have to study the star performers. Who is the best performer in the market? Who has got maximum profit in the market? Why? What are the reasons for getting the profit? What are the reasons for their sustainability, etc. need to be studied before entering into the market. Creating a bigger picture. We must not think that we are starting a small business and our boundaries are limited. But the business person must always try to create a bigger picture, in the sense he must ensure that he become a globalized icon in the future point of time. So with this framework, he start the business, then no sooner he exist in the market, we go for expansion and sometimes turn to be a global producer as well. What are the benefits of industrial analysis? The first and the foremost benefit of industrial analysis is it gives a clear picture regarding the profitability of each and every person in the market. That is, each and every player in the market, each and every competitor in the market, each and every constituent of the market. Next, it also identifies the strategies that helps them to increase the worth, that help the business to increase that worth. It helps the business firms to face the competition. It helps to formulate various strategies so that they can survive, perish, or survive or expand their business enterprises. They also give a complete picture regarding strengths and weaknesses of the competitors, strengths and weaknesses of various institutions present in the market. They give a strategic change which helps to get a best payoffs, that is, which helps the business person to get better margin when compared to the existing margins. It also helps to show the threats. If the threats are identified, then the threats can be removed with a heavy hand. And sometimes the opportunities also can be encashed. And if these opportunities are encashed, they can survive. They can better exist in the market. For example, Harley Davidson thought it better to enter into a sport bikes by leaving away the cosmetics into which he has entered in his beginning stage. Next, it helps to know the position of the company relating to the competitors, means their market share, their capabilities, their capacities, their price aspects, etc. and etc. It also helps to study the demand and supply conditions in the market. Demand analysis is a part of industrial analysis. Supply analysis is a part of industrial analysis. Next, it helps to help the organization to achieve to see the untapped market, untapped conditions or opportunities in the market. What are the limitations of industrial analysis? The major limitation of industrial analysis is their seasonality, seasonality of the factors, because all the factors will not become the strength of the company at all times. Sometimes the market will become flattered by the inflation. So how to exist in the inflation will also be taught through industrial analysis. It does not guarantee a success. I have done completely an industrial analysis. Can I guarantee be successful? There are chances of success, but guaranteed success cannot be seen at all times. Sometimes the decisions cannot be easily observed. Sometimes wrong decisions can be taken if the industry is not properly analyzed, and since the environment is dynamic, the industrial analysis that is done now may not be constant. It changes continuously. So industrial analysis must be a continuous process. Michael Porter has also stated that the entire business firm consists of 5 forces, and these 5 forces operate the entire business. First one is bargaining power of suppliers. For example, if the cost of product to the buyer is high, if the total cost of product to the buyer is high, then the bargaining power of the supplier greatly increases. For example, if the BMWs started purchasing their spares, then the suppliers sell the spares at a very high price. Here, the bargaining power of the supplier will be high and the bargaining power of the BMWs will be low. The reason is simple. Since you are buying at a higher, since you are selling at a higher price, then they charge such a same price from the supplier. That is, the supplier charge a premium price to the spares, since the loyalty status as well as buyer status is high for the BMWs. Next, if the competition is high, what about the bargaining power of suppliers? If the competition is high, large number of players exist in the market. If large number of players exist in the market, there are large number of alternatives available for the buyer, and thus their bargaining power decreases and the supplier bargaining power increases. Conversion cost. If switching costs are more, that is, once the manufacturer has large number of alternative suppliers, then automatically manufacturer's bargaining power will increase and the supplier bargaining power will decrease. Cost of production process. If the cost of production is high, automatically the supplier bargaining power reduces and the by a manufacturer bargaining power increases. Next, bargaining power of buyers. Number of buyers is more. There are very less number of buyers, then their bargaining power ultimately increases. If there are large number of relatively small competitors, that is, there are large number of producers, that is, the large number of sellers in the market, what happens to the buyer bargaining power? It increases, because if he will go to the seller. If the seller does not sell the product at an agreed price, there is a chance that he can switch off to the other seller. If the product is standardized, bargaining power is in the favor of sellers and the buyer bargaining power reduces. During a forward integration, that is, as manufacturer turn into a retailer, then the buyer bargaining power is reduced because the cost of the production will be decreased. Threat for new entrants. There are many threats for new entrants. First and the foremost threat is economies of scale. They can produce in large quantities at a time. They have to produce at large quantities at a time. A new entrant must plan to produce in large quantities at a time. Why? Because if he produces in large quantities, production cost will be lowered and he can sell at low price. If he has higher differentiation, then he can easily exist in the market. If switching costs are high, that is, if there are large number of sellers in the market, then it is very difficult to enter. If the technical obstacles, if the new entrant does not know the technology, then he has to suffer a lot for entering into the market. If the existing channels are highly costly, then it's better to create a new channel, or otherwise do not enter the market. If the policies, rules, regulations, etc. are high, then it is difficult for the new entrant to enter into the market. Threat from substituents. If there are large number of substituents in the market, what happens? It is a danger sign for the buyers. It is a danger sign for the sellers. If the seller does not sell at the existing prices of the substituents, they exit from the market. If the seller sells at a price which is charged at least by the substitute, they exist in the market. Competition among existing competitors in the market. If the competition is high, the chance of existence decreases. If the competition is high, then the manufacturer will, and the sellers must sell at least possible cost to exist in the market, or else they have to at least develop a USP in the market. They have to make sure that each stone is unturned. The conflicts and confrontations must be removed, and they must work with a unified approach to exist in the market. This is the overall analysis regarding the industrial and industry analysis. This is the overall industrial analysis. For Michael Porter has stated many factors, out of which bargaining power of buyers, bargaining power of suppliers, threat from new entrants, threat from substituents, etc. are to be observed carefully if they wanted to enter or leave from the market.